Good morning, YouTube. It's another perfect day in God's country. And when I say perfect day, boy, I ain't shitting. It's a perfect gosh darn day. I mean, we got blue skies, although I seen them chemtrailing already. Yeah, there is a light haze. They done chemtrailed a nice little light haze in there to make sure we don't get to see all the stars tonight or whatnot. But anyway, for the day before Halloween, and I'm out here in a t-shirt in the great upper peninsula of Michigan. That's incredible, folks. And so I'm over here. I've been over here every day. The last couple of days I didn't make a video. I've been over here squeaking in 12, 14 hours of daylight and slapping a lot of paint around and doing a lot of different types of things over here. And we're making a little progress on the old mining house here. But she's slow going. For example, yesterday I spent 12 hours with a 1-inch paintbrush in my hand, and I could show y'all a photo from yesterday and a photo from today, and you'd barely notice what I did because I did all the trim yesterday in several locations, and until I was so brain frazzled I could barely stand up from cutting in all them details all day long with the white paintbrush. So today I'm going to do some bulk painting and maybe not get a detail brush in my hand until later because really burnt me out yesterday doing that all day long. However, well, I'm tired of this antivirus stuff popping up. It's fake. I don't believe in YouTube viruses. I don't believe in internet viruses. Hey, I'm only serious. That's only my opinion. Not worthy of a strike. Did Lucky just say internet viruses are fake? What? Strike that boy down. Hell, I don't know, folks, but it is another beautiful day. I've been over around the corner on the ladder for about 45 minutes to an hour, slapping some French cocoa paint around, and had to take me a little break. I was right in the sunshine, too. It's amazing that I was roasting in the sun this time of year. Man, am I blessed. Yesterday, I had the family over here, my wife and my boy, and we did some painting together, and that was a lot of fun. And it's kind of like fishing with your family, though, you know. Not quite sure if they're helping me or slowing me down. You know what I mean? I'm only serious, folks. Awesome day yesterday. We all had paintbrushes in our hand and all kinds of fun. And of course, I was doing all this trim work, so that's I don't mind doing trim. I kind of enjoy it, and if I'm patient enough, I'm good at it. But when you got so much of it to do, you just keep going and going and going. Like I said, about 12 hours yesterday. I was doing trim work until dark, so is what it is. But sorry, y'all, I haven't had time to make truth videos. I always tell you if I don't have something on my mind, I ain't gonna get on here and fake nothing. If it ain't on my mind, I can't talk about it. It's just who I am. What is on my mind right now is this house, and the only reason that I'm working this excessively hard is because of the bonus that Mother Nature has thrown me. Rule number one for me personally, when it comes to real estate, there's a million ways to skin a cat. I can't stress that enough. One of the reasons so many people can't get into real estate or don't have success with it is because they're looking for rules. They're looking for somebody to tell them how to do well with real estate. Here's what you do. Here's how you follow a plan. Get rich with my plan. Blah, blah, blah. The real story, folks, is that every deal is unique and unique in many, many ways. Completely 100% unique. Every deal. And like I always tell y'all, Lucky don't shop houses, Lucky shops deals. Then I take a look at the house and see if it's adequate. After I already know the deal is there. I shop deals. So, with all that said, I got a good deal on this mining house, and the weather I closed on this house a week ago Monday in a snowstorm. In no way, shape, or form did I have any plans on doing much at all with the exterior of this house. In fact, if you go back and watch some of my earlier videos, I believe I might have mentioned that I would likely sell this house this winter, meaning it was never going to be repainted by me because the market is so hot and there's such a shortage of affordable housing in Keweenaw County where I live that it would be no trouble to flip this winter and bank a little bit of profit and just move along to the next one. However, Lucky really likes this house, and it's really hard to find a property in Keweenaw County of this nature nowadays. The cheapest other house for sale in Keweenaw County right now that I'm aware of, unless there's something down some road with a for sale sign by owner in front of it and I ain't found it, which is very unlikely because I do that too. I drive around and look for those. Like this one, I showed you all the sign on the front of it. Just a hand spray painted for sale by owner and a phone number. Those are great. When you find those, you call them. That's a guy that's not working very hard to sell his place, which means it's a fellow that's probably pretty negotiable, because if he ain't working that hard to sell it, must not need the money that bad and ain't in no hurry to sell it. He just pretty much waiting for a fella like you to come along that wants to swing the hammer a little bit more than he did and pick it up from him, right? So I do drive around and look for those signs. That's kind of how I got this one. But with all that said, back to my friends in the truth community, I have a couple shout outs, a couple of things I need to talk about. Flat Accord Music has a new video out, new song and a new video. I have a tendency to call them videos because, as I've told y'all before, his stuff is like a visual presentation as well as a wonderful musical presentation. And I'm starting to understand a little bit more of where his roots come from as well musically. So, Lucky's not a musical genius like Fam. If you have any question about any artist that ever walked the face of the earth and ever recorded a song and you're stumped on it, ask Flat Accord Music. He'll tell you who it was, probably tell you their life story, that kind of thing. My man knows his music. So anyway, Flat Accord Music has a new video out, and I suggest everybody go see it and enjoy. I know I did. I was really excited. I seen it pop up on my screen that he had a new video out, clicked on it right away and watched it while I was having dinner last night, and it was very, very enjoyable. Another fantastic piece from Flat Accord Music. And now, most importantly, folks, I didn't forget my friend, zetetic Warrior. Big shout out to a friend of this channel, Zetetic Warrior, who's been a friend of this channel since pretty much the beginning, and has always been a great friend of this channel, left awesome comments, always puts a smile on my face, etc., etc., comes up with wild names for me like the Rust Belt Hero and stuff like that. Puts a big old grin on my face. Dude's got a good sense of humor. You all know by now, Lucky loves to laugh. So shout out, Warrior Brother, for making a song. You heard me right, people. Somebody wrote a song about old Lucky Haskins. My friend, Zetetic Warrior, wrote a song about Lucky Haskins, and man, am I flattered. And as to be expected with Warrior Man's sense of humor, it's funny as shit, and he had me falling out of my chair when I heard it. Y'all got to go over. I'm going to try to put a link under this video when I load it later on tonight to Zetetic Warrior's channel. Zetetic. I always have trouble saying that word. Zetetic Warrior. I'm going to put a link to his channel. In fact, I'll just put a link right to that video called The Legend of Lucky Haskins, and y'all got to go check it out. He did a really cool cover tune recently of a Townes Van Zandt song, too, called Waiting Around to Die, which is cool because that's a tune that I would like to cover, but the style that Townes plays it in has never really suited me well, or I'm not good enough to play it as Townes did. It's very magical the way Townes played Waiting Around to Die. It's a magical cut. I think that's maybe why a lot of people don't cover it. And if you do cover it, it's smart to do your own thing with it. And Zetetic Warrior did his own thing with it and really made it cool. And that was also very pleasurable to watch him do that old Townes song, Waiting Around to Die. So huge shout out to my brother, Zetetic Warrior. Y'all go to his channel and check out the song, The Legend of Lucky Haskins. He got every video I ever made summed up into one song, and it's pretty darn cool. Now, if you think I'm just tooting my own horn because somebody wrote a song about me, well, let me ask you this, my friends. How many songs have you had written about you? As usual, I'm only serious, folks, but you know I'm damn flattered. I had a dang song written about me. What could be cooler than that? So here we are. It's day 6 or day 7. I can't remember. I brought my laptop along each day. Just ain't had time, folks. I'm busting my butt over here. But as you can see, again, don't think that I'm ignoring ignorance of the what's going on in the top half of this house and a little bit on the roof. All this stuff takes time. All of that is, of course, on the schedule. And at the very minimum, there'll be a beautiful white trim board running along that line there between the top and the bottom of the house. Probably something fat, like 8-inch maybe or something, painted in that flaming white, and lay that there to dress that up a little bit. Then I may go up the sides with it as well. But as you can see, she's moving along. We're making progress and tightening up the trim a little bit. Got my address here. We're going in the sun. You might not see anything, but made quite a bit of progress here in the front of the house. It's a work in progress. Gonna look good. Got to put in some trim boards over here. Got these windows, and of course, if you look up there at the top window, you'll see some water damage up there. And that water damage is because they took the time to put a nice new window in and then didn't trim it and caulk it. Ain't no window trim up there on the outside. And then you see the water damage there. Fortunately, it's not anything that's going to affect the structure or anything. The way to deal with something like this is to slap a lot of paint around to protect the wood that's under there that's getting wet. And then, of course, I'll put 2 new pieces of cedar shake where those ones are missing. And I'll get my window trimmed with trim boards and caulk all that. And then no more water will get underneath those cedar shake cedar shake shingles. Say that 10 times fast. Cedar shake shingles. Cedar shake shingle siding. Right, there it is. And as you can see, I got to do the trim boards around here as well. And the reason I'm not in any hurry is because normally we're covered in snow by now and it's pretty cold and my paint wouldn't set or stick. And I can do those trim boards in colder weather, even if it's snowing. So they're on the back burner until I get all this paint slapped around. That's just the way that it has to go. So now when you look over here at this side, you can see I did the same thing. All these people just come out of their driveway looking at me like I'm crazy, but I ain't got time to stop making my video because I got shit to do today. So they can look at me like I'm crazy all they want. So as you can see over here, I did the same thing, and this is the side I slapped that red paint on, that French cocoa, with a roller. And so I was able to cover that ground real quick. Again, didn't expect it to still be nice out. So I'm just loving that I'm getting day after day of another whack at the outside of this house. It probably doesn't look like I've made a lot of progress, but I really have. I rarely work this fast on the exterior of a house, and I usually am a little more detailed, but we just don't have the time. And the number one rule to taking a $10,000 investment, turning it into $40,000, is curb appeal, folks. So I'm very blessed that we're getting this weather and I can do this and gain this curb appeal. And then understand that while some of this lower stuff looks a little rough, I'd like to put my trim boards down there and all of that. If I don't get to it, we're going to be covered in beautiful white snow. So all of this paint and trim that I'm doing, when this house will be neat as a pin when everything's covered with snow, the yard, etc. The snow is going to handle a bunch of trim work for me. Do you get it, folks? Now, if I still own the house in the spring, after she thaws out, then I can do all that lower stuff that's going to be below the snow here in 2 to 3 weeks, guaranteed. Does that make sense, folks? When you do this kind of work in the Upper Peninsula, you have to take what she gives you. Oh, Mother Nature. Well, you have to work with her. You can't fight her. So I had no intention of completely remodeling the exterior of this house and gaining all of this curb appeal before winter. In fact, the normal procedure with a purchase like this would have been to have it listed in a month or two after I just really clean it up, and we would have done a quick flip in the winter. I just see so much more here, and the UP gave me this opportunity. Mother Nature said, "Hey, you want to paint the exterior of the house? I'll give you a couple weeks." And this is what we call up here Indian summer. This will be the first Halloween tomorrow, where my son doesn't have to wear snow pants and a jacket and gloves and everything over his costume. So that'll be exciting for him. Usually we're walking in a foot of snow when we're trick-or-treating, but so I can't tell you how rare this is to get this opportunity. So anyway, we're just, doing what we can. I do have a lot of little work to do. This whole back room back here, I have to rip this entire roof off. Again, I'm out in the sun. I don't know what you can see, but this old boy was just nursing that roof along for all it was worth. He even threw a bunch of quarter-inch plywood up there. Anything he could do. But obviously he didn't do a good job, as you can see. So I got to pull all that plywood off and pull all this roll roofing off, replace a few boards, and then redo the roll roofing back here, which I will do myself. And again, I can do that in cooler weather, so it's hasn't started yet because I'm busy throwing paint around while it's warm enough for the paint to stick. So that's pretty much where I'm at, folks. If I have time at the end of the day, I might take my laptop inside and show you what's going on upstairs in that little room I had you in a couple days ago, where I'm learning how to paint new drywall. We'll talk about that if I get time to get up there tonight, because I have learned in the last few days an immense amount of stuff about painting raw drywall. And what did I learn? Well, this world is not what you think it is. As usual, folks, might be the fifth time in my life I was wrong, but I was wrong in my approach at painting raw drywall. We'll talk about that when I get my laptop up there, and I'll show you my progress up there. There's simply no point in me wasting my time inside the house when it's this beautiful out here. I can do that stuff in the cooler weather as well. I have a heater, a propane heater. If I decide not to turn the utilities on, because there's no utilities on in this house right now, therefore we're picking up no monthly expenses, which is very cool. And, I work during the day, don't really need it. When it comes time to paint and stuff on the lower half of the house, I may turn electricity on to get some lights, or I may get light in some other fashion and just keep the utilities off. Because certainly nobody's living here. Certainly no point in turning the water on and risking a pipe freeze. Don't forget we're in a very cold climate. So this house will likely sit all winter with certainly no water being turned on, and perhaps electricity. And then depending on what level the decision is made to take the interior, if needed, we could fire up the natural gas and use the internal furnace in the house. If not, I have a furnace that I bring, and I just seal off any room I'm working in, and the propane furnace will heat that room up in about a half hour to 45 minutes. You can start painting and keep that room nice and warm for working in all day long, and leave it on until the paint sets, and then you can let the house get cold again. So that may be what I do in the interior, but for now, it's all about the exterior, because we're taking what Mother Nature gives us and counting our blessings, folks. You want to talk about a way to make a quick 20, 30 grand. You take a house, it looks like shit when you drive by it, and 3 weeks later, it looks very nice when you drive by it. That's money from thin air, y'all. Ask yourself, who can I help today? I've already made my quota. If y'all met Kyle the other day, Kyle, a good fella, walks by here with his dog. He makes about 3-4 laps by here every day. Good young man there, Kyle. And I had a bunch of PlayStation 1 games that were in this house. And when I say a bunch, I mean a bunch. And they were all in great condition in the case. I had a stack this big, probably 25 games, maybe 30. And he came by and I happened to ask, do you have a PlayStation 1? And he said, I do. He said, I have a PlayStation 2 and it plays PlayStation 1 games. And I said, hang on a second, Kyle. And I brought him a stack of games this high, and it's a good day for Kyle. Boy, was he happy. So, yeah, those were all in the house. You know, we were talking about taking them down to, there's a place that sells used video games. I probably could have got $2 a piece for them or something because they're old, PlayStation 1. But they were in great shape, still in the cases, no dust on them, no scratches. And I found out he had one. That's better than getting paid for them, folks. I made that fella's day. Now, if you didn't get to meet Kyle when he walked by, maybe you don't understand. But you know, he's a good old fella, and we got to help people like that. You know, folks, I was thinking about people that we might consider challenged or handicapped or all of those things. And I was just thinking about that the other day. And you know how people go, well, I just count my blessings. You know, all my kids came out, you know, perfect and all this, and we should just count our blessings. And you meet somebody like that and you go, well, we should be grateful and thankful. And, you know, I was thinking maybe, now just maybe, folks, maybe there are certain souls, maybe some souls are still yet so innocent or so special or so spectacular in some way that we don't understand that they need to be nurtured in the context of a human body that will not be crushed or tainted by this world that we're in, this realm that we call home. Am I making any sense? What if a person like that is carrying a soul that is not supposed to be taken? Maybe that's their purpose, to carry that soul that needs to remain innocent. Therefore, maybe the brain it's not given the same type of brain that's going to be so easily sucked in and tainted by this Devil's Ride we're all on, right? That was the name of my first record, Devil's Ride. So ask yourself, who can I help today? And most importantly, stay true, y'all. So sunny, I can't see the off button. There it is. Love you guys. Zetetic Warrior, the legend of Lucky Haskins. He wrote a song about me, man. I got a song written about me, y'all. Chew on that. Get over to Zetetic Warriors channel. Sub, like, and bell, folks. And don't forget, check out Fam's new video. I love each and every one of you. Have a good day. Stay true.